Hi folks, Job Lot Comics here. We're having a look at another lost comic book character. This time we're way back in 1982 and we're looking at issue 1 of Miss Mystic. Can you tell who the artist is? It is of course Neal Adams. Eagle-eyed viewers will be able to spot that right away. And this is the first issue of his creator-owned title. One of a few things that he did for this company. PC Comics, there's a little editorial there if you want to have a look at that. And then if I show you the indicia down the bottom, there's everybody that's involved. This was another attempt to take on Marvel and DC at their own game, producing probably similar content to what they were doing, but not so much, probably not as superhero based as you might imagine, and attracting great talent. You can see here that Neal Adams is firing on all cylinders. The artwork is just phenomenal all through this book. He was obviously very invested and wanted to make sure that Pacific Comics made some kind of dent in the comic book arena, and producing quality work like this. It's on newsprint, and I always love newsprint as opposed to that glossy paper that Marvel and DC would adopt in the 90s when they were putting out all those books. Lots of nice zipper tone effects in this as well for his character. PC Comics managed to do that Atlas thing where they set themselves up against Marvel and DC and attracted an awful lot of top talent, including Neal Adams. And you'll see later on that Jack Kirby was also on board with this project. This issue is from 1982, so as were many of the books, and it just didn't work. They sold through comic book specialty shops, so these weren't sort of newsstand issues. You couldn't go into the newsagents and buy them or get them off the stands. You had to go to the comic book shops, but again, it just never worked. They ran for a few issues and there was a few different titles. You'll see some of Kirby's stuff being advertised here later on as I flick through, letting you have a look at this glorious artwork. But they just they didn't work. It was a shame. I don't know what happened to PC Comics, and eventually they did kind of just disappear from the scene. Must have been so difficult at the time getting these comic books out. And here's Jack Kirby, Silver Star, Captain Victory. You can definitely see Kirby still leaning into the Eternals and the Fourth World characters that he created for DC. Probably sort of continuing that kind of story for them through PC. Gru the Wanderer was here as well with Sergio, and there was sort of fantasy based backup stories in these books here that remind me of old Warren magazine type stuff. But there's Rocketeer there, Dave Stevens, and Twisted Tales there with Bruce Jones on it. That looks like a Wrightson cover. Why did these comics not take? Not sure. Don't know if maybe the intellectual properties just weren't that appealing for readers, and there was an awful lot of strong competition, and they just never took. What a shame, but you can pick these up really, really cheap. So if you're a fan of Kirby and Neal Adams and everybody else that worked for PC, you'll be able to get these in your dollar bin box. Look at the zipper tone. Isn't zipper tone great? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed looking at that. That's just Miss Mystic #1. If you did enjoy this, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll bring you more Lost Comics on the next one.